We're incredibly happy that Dr. Bachelet will be with us to hear voices from the field and within the framework that Mahnaz has just described. Very briefly, I'm not going to talk about my wonderful colleagues and friends on the panel. You will see their bios in the leaflet that has been distributed to you. I will only say that each one of my colleagues on the panel actually comes from a solid grassroots experience of working locally with women in different sectors, but also working in policy dialogue, working within the political arena, and working in the international arena. What they will be talking about very briefly at the level of 4 minutes each will be a reflection over a critical key issue from their own experience and the way they see this issue taken forward in collaboration with UN Women. So without further ado, I will start with Dr. Wajeeha Al Baharna from Bahrain, from the Bahraini Women's Society.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to congratulate all of us for the founding and official launching of UN Women, the newly born entity. And we are looking forward in close cooperation with this new entity, with UN Women, in order to promote women's rights worldwide. I came from Bahrain, and Bahrain is one of the 6 Gulf countries: Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Oman. And the women in this region encounter or is ranked. They are ranked as the lowest among the women's rights among the Arab countries. And this is according to Freedom House studies on women's rights in the MENA region. Also, they are deficit in many aspects of their rights. They need more promotion for their rights in regard to political rights, legal rights, personal status law, nationality law, and mobility and autonomy. I'm going to just tackle 2 challenges facing specifically women in the Gulf region. The women in the Gulf region encounter 2 kinds of stereotyping. The first one comes from within their community, where they look at the woman as downgraded or second citizen in their area, and this reflected negatively on their self-esteem or confidence in themselves, and also in enjoying having these rights in their life, living in their life. Also, they feel now lost hope of any change or reforms could be happen in this case under this stereotyping look at them. The other stereotype is from the international community. They look at the women in the Gulf as they are living in luxury life, and they are wealthy and enjoying good life, and they don't need to claim for their rights because everything is provided and it's there. And this is not true at all, because being wealthy or having good life doesn't mean that we need to promote and demand and claim these rights in order to step forward in these aspects. These 2 types of stereotyping lead us to work in cooperation as partnership with WLP to work with several groups of women in the region, in Bahrain, in Oman, and Saudi Arabia. We work very closely with them for their capacity building and also for awareness for their rights and how they claim these rights as well. We also paid more attention for the youth and young women and teens also in this regard, because they are now the driving force in their community, and they could do a lot in this regard and help to claim for women's rights in the region. I have half minutes. Well, let us close by saying is that UN Women now, it's like the glimpse of hope for all women worldwide. And we are looking forward to see a better status, a better life, a better future for all the women in the world by cooperation with this new entity and the new women. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wajeeha. Wajeeha has highlighted the specific issue of women in oil-rich Gulf countries and the contradictions between what we think is their situation and position and what actually they live. Our next two speakers, again, I'm on a mission to be a very harsh moderator, so our next two speakers will also speak very briefly about the endemic issue of women in conflict situations. We will start with my dear friend Asma Khader from Jordan, who will be focusing on Conventions 1325 and 1820. Thank you.
Thank you, Lina. Okay. Well, again, congratulations for all of us. And I think what we listened to by Mahnaz and by Mrs. Bachelet is really summarizing in a way the main issues that we need to work on the coming few months and years. And I think coming from the heart of the Middle East, from Jordan, where around us a lot of conflicts and ongoing problems, such as for the Palestinian women, the Iraqi women, women of Sudan, and nowadays with the revolution in Egypt and Tunisia, Libya, and Yemen and Bahrain, demonstrations in Bahrain, and some demands also and demonstrations in Jordan, we think that we need to focus on how women can not only be the responsible actors for surviving societies, but also how they can be part of the decision-making and peace and building democracy for the future. Especially because we suffered a lot from these situations, and we think that men in power were not able until now to solve the problems in a democratic, peaceful, human rights-based approach. And we think as women NGOs and women activists that our motherhood even is helping us to see how and where we can work more for the implementation, full implementation of the Resolution 1325 and 1820 and other resolutions, focusing on women and peace and protecting women and also involving women in these processes. In our region, those resolutions are not known by the mass majority of men and women. We were able in Jordan to formulate kind of a national commission, governmental, non-governmental organization initiated by women NGOs, by the Jordanian National Commission for Women and Women NGOs, to develop a national plan for the implementation of the resolution. And we are happy because some women are now part of the peacekeeping forces of Jordan in many countries. But it is not enough. We think we need a national plan, and the national plan cannot be implemented if there is no enough resources, financial, technical, and human resources that are necessary to see this plan implemented. The will is there, and that's why I say I think that more cooperation with UN Women and on regional level, because this is going to be the first Arab action plan in the Arab countries, and I think it's very important to help reaching the goals by implementing this plan. My last comment is young people. I am coming from a country where 75% of the population are under 30 years old. and half of them are women, young women who have problems in. We did great in educating women, but the quality of education and the matching between what they studied and what the market needs is a problem. So we need to more organize young people around gender equality, around democracy, around human rights principles, and this is a huge challenge because it's really, the demand is great, is huge, and the resources are limited. And I want to end by saying that our partnership, WLP partnership, and learning from each other, this learning process is really allowing to build kind of networks on grassroots level with grassroots women, and that will help us meeting the demands of being able to help the voices of the very local women to reach up there to the UN women and vice versa. Thank you very much.
Shukran, Asma. Asma, I think, is also pointing out to an important challenge at this turning time in the region, where actually we're building something new in the absence of a history of democracy.